Down Under became one of this city's most famous adopted sons. Let's find out.
We're going to be having our usual consumer phone-ins.
I'm itching to know why Ed ended up in Brum in the first place, leaving Sydney's sun-drenched harbour behind. So, why would a snotty-nosed kid from the suburbs of Sydney want to come to Birmingham and do local radio for the BBC?
Well, what I wanted to do was to do radio. I was obsessed with radio from about the age of 4 or 5. A typical evening in the Doolan household was to sit down and watch my mother doing the ironing and listen to the transcription service, the BBC transcription service, that they were sending through. And they'd be broadcasting people like Frankie Howard and the Goons and Take It From Here and Much Binding in the Marsh. I loved it.
For the 9th time this season, Much Binding takes the air.
Inspired by a notion that British radio was the place to be, a fresh-faced Ed Doolan journeyed to our shores. Soon, he got his chance on Birmingham's brand new commercial station, BRMB.
BRMB playing Birmingham's best mix of the 80s, 90s and today.
I've brought Ed back to see how things have changed. Gone are the pictures of David Essex and ABBA. Because in those early days, Ed was an outsider and desperately needed to get Brummies on his side. He told friends he had a plan.
I remember Ed telling me once that he heard a show in Australia on radio that changed his life. It was somebody trying to get social justice and trying to change things and trying to make a difference to people by a radio show. And Ed thought, I would like to do that. I would like to have my programs make a difference to people.
Across the West Midlands on 95.6 FM, Lunch with Ed Doolan on BBC1.
Ed's programme certainly made a difference to listener Sam Ellicott.
Well, I've been listening to Ed Doolan for nearly 30 years, and one day he saved my life.
Sam heard Ed talking on air about a rare health condition called abdominal aortic aneurysm. Concerned, he booked a scan.
The scan showed up that I had a large aneurysm and I needed to be dealt with immediately. And the next 2 days I was with the consultant at Heartlands Hospital.
But Ed really made a name for himself when he started helping listeners with their consumer problems. Back then it was pioneering stuff.
Hello.
Hello.
This is the City Engineers Department.
Terrific.
Thank you for calling to report a defect.
Right, hello, this is the Ed Doolan Show on Radio WM. Mr. Dave from Edgbaston would like to record a message. Yes, Dave?
There is a blocked drain blocked up by the Severn Trent Water Authority.
For 3 months?
For 3 months.
If you don't know what the hell's going on in your own city, there's no hope for you. You've got some work to do with the customers, then, haven't you?
We have indeed.
If there's a problem, he says, let's find the person who can sort that problem out. And he's on the phone. Get me the phone number for Fred McThrappage, or whoever it is at the town hall. And he's on the phone. Fred, it's Ed Doolan here. A lot of people have been worried about, and you think, wow, he just jumps in with all 4 feet, boom, boom, boom.
So becoming a consumer champion may have made Ed popular with Brummies, but it put him on headbutting terms with some of the most powerful leaders within the region. Isn't that so?
Are you saying that there are people working for Birmingham Council who are frightened that if they say what is going on, they will be sacked?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
But it was with Midlands Transport Chief Phil Bateman that Ed had his most notorious battles. So come on, Phil. How volatile were those early set twos with Ed?
Oh, they were pretty volatile. They were pretty blood and guts. Usually my blood, my guts. I didn't like him at first, and that's the truth of the matter. I felt that he was aggressive, overly aggressive at times.
What were the arguments about?
You name it, he'll have an argument with you about it. And he'd be very nice to start with, and he'd engage you in conversation, and then the next minute the mics went on, the red light went on, and he changed, turned into the Tasmanian devil.
Of course, Ed normally came out on top. Have you ever wondered why you can catch a bus on Boxing Day? That's one of Ed's many victories. But in 1989, an extraordinary case came along that really tested the Aussie mettle.
Here, a prisoner who absconded from Stafford jail gave himself up today while taking part in a radio phone-in.
Ed made national headlines when he took a call from a prisoner on the run. Casting BBC health and safety rules to the wind, he agreed to escort Stephen Winnery into custody safely.
Winnery had agreed to be picked up, provided no police were involved. He also agreed to the presence of cameras.
Nice to meet you. Come on, Sue.
Supposing you'd have found a gun, what would you have done?
Do you know, I've never thought of that. I never thought I would. When we got in the car, he suddenly said, I don't want to go to the prison. I want to go to the nearest police station. And I said, well, I don't know where the nearest police station is. He said, I'll show you the way.
You know, Ed didn't just help the man in the street. He also helped the man on the stage. When I released Funky Moped in 1975, few people outside of Birmingham knew who I was. But an appearance on Top of the Pops changed everything. That was thanks to Ed, who'd been promoting the record for weeks. It was my big break.
Isn't that nice?
Ed's not retiring completely, oh no. New shows on Fridays and Sundays will keep him busy in Brum. But his last daily consumer programme, the show that made his name, is almost over. It's been an emotional 2 hours, so will he be able to stick to his script?
The problem is when the emotions get involved, he often just discards it and speaks from the heart. So I don't know whether he'll be able to stick to that, to be honest.
And as the clock creeps towards the hour, Ed delivers those parting words.
I'll be back live next Friday at 12 noon. But now, until next we meet, thanks for listening.
A professional to the end, Ed stuck to his script, word for word. After nearly 40 years of sticking up for the people of Birmingham, it's little wonder that we Brummies have made Ed Doolan one of our own. What an honour we have bestowed upon him. However, Birmingham and the Black Country have a lot to thank him for. I know I have.